Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on any of my videos. I really do appreciate your time. Well, we have a 3-year celebration to announce for my channel. Woo woo woo! I could not believe that anybody would have told me when I started my channel that I'd be doing this well and going this strong 3 years later. So thank you to all of you who are viewers or return viewers or first time viewers or subscribers. I sincerely appreciate everything that you do to support me. So I saw this notification come across that somebody saw me from a shout out that Sarah gave to me. I said, no way, no way, no way, no way. And I had to go out and find Sarah. I watch Sarah's videos all the time. And she gave me a shout out in her newsletter. So I want to thank you guys who have come over from Sarah's channel. I appreciate Sarah so much that she gave me this shout out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this video is going to be all about the Midwest Fiber Fest. There was a yarn haul involved, and there was kind of a meet and greet that I didn't know was going to be there. So let's get right into it. Okay, so before I jump into the yarn haul itself, I do want to give a shout out to the Magic Crochet Circle Group. It was so awesome to meet you guys. I'll talk about it a little bit later in the video because I do want to share the event in a chronological order, so I'll come back to that in a minute, but just know that you guys are in my heart. Thank you so much. So the day started out, I was supposed to have my grandkids on Saturday, and the event was on Saturday and on Sunday. So I was trying to decide whether I wanted to bring them with me on Saturday, whether I wanted to wait until the end of the day and try to just cram in a quickie at the event after I drop them off with their mom, or did I want to just go on Sunday without the kids. You know, I was undecided. I was undecided on how I was going to go about this. So long story short, I didn't have the kids after all, so I did go on Saturday. I was busy editing a video in the morning, so that, you know, kept me anxious and anticipating when the event would actually start, the Midwest Fiber Fest. So anyway, so I knew I wanted to bring, there was going to be some vendors there that I bought yarn from last year, and I wanted to bring my finished projects and share with them what I made out of their yarn. So I carried this in with me. This is one of the baskets that I made, and I love the size of it. It's very good sized for bigger projects. If I've got a whole lot of yarn that I'm going to bank into something, it will all fit in here just great. So I think the colors are really gorgeous. It's like a purple and a yellow and then like a mint. And so I was holding it and I was looking at some yarn booths, and somebody said, hey, I saw you from way over there and I just love your bag. Did you make that? And so, you know, when you go to a fiber event like this, everybody's kind of wearing, you know, not everybody, but a lot of people are either wearing something that they've made or carrying something that they've made, things like that. So it was a lot of fun to see all the different creativity that, you know, the walking art, if you will. So it was very exciting for someone to, you know, call me out on my gorgeous bag and come over and talk to me about it. So that was really nice and unexpected. Not everybody that I purchased from in the past did I purchase from again this time. And so somebody that I purchased from last time and shared my shawl, but I didn't buy from this time, is the Apothefaery. And she was super, I've got this thread, I got to tie that in. She was super excited to see what I made, and she was holding it, and we were talking about the yarn, the colors, the way they play together and everything. So that was really fun. I enjoyed going back to her and sharing this with her. She was super excited. And then the next one that I went to, I've got business cards in here. Oh, that went to that one. Okay. So the next one that I went to share what I made was Honey Girl Farms. And this is a shawl that I made out of her colorway that was Beauty and the Beast. So it's this gorgeous royal blue and the that kind of gold color and the white. So this was really pretty. And they took my picture with my project. So that was really, I'm going to be, you know, maybe just in her personal photo album somewhere. But that was really fun to see her excited about what I made with her yarn. So she was one of the people that I purchased from, and I will specifically tell you that it is because when there is a Fiber Fest like this, not everybody makes a colorway that's specifically for this show, and she does. I remember that she has in previous years, and so I wanted to specifically check out what she had for the colorway for the show, and I bought some. Okay, so everything's stuffed in the bag so that I could get the picture, so give me just a minute here. So the bag that I made, if you missed that, it is only this big. It should only fit about 4 skeins of yarn nicely. It was made with this natural marl yarn, and you can see my little bumblebee here from KK Crochet, K&K Crochet. So it's my little KK bag. But I told myself that this was a way of controlling my spending. And I overly stuffed this big time. So, and you know, I said I was going to do this in chronological order, but I have not. So I'll just keep going from where I'm at. So the Honey Girl Farms colorway is called Middle Earth. This is Tolkien collection, her Tolkien inspired collection for the Midwest Fiber Fest for 2025, making history. And this base is her silky sock base. It's 75% superwash merino and 25% mulberry silk for 437 yards, 100 grams. Lovely, lovely. So she had this as like the, you know, the variegated, but then she also had the blue that went in it, and the green that went in it, and the purple that went in it. And so based on the base that I wanted to pick up, I wanted to get this mulberry silk blend. This is what I purchased. I did want the green. She didn't have it, and I kind of think that maybe I'm happy she didn't have it, because I think it would have, it was a brighter green like up in here, but I think this is kind of dark and muted, so hopefully this will pick the color up just a bit. Trying to put it in there together so you can see how gorgeous it is. Cover my face. So see, she's got a really nice yarn base as well. And her label's changed, so I had to get used to seeing that the label is a little bit different, Honey Girl Farms. And here's this. And here's this. For this word, I don't know what that means, even though I know the movies. I don't know what this means. If you do, let me know. So that was Honey Girl Farms. So here I'm going to go out of order a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that I have here to share with the yarn maker was Leading Man Fiber Arts. And you know, you get tired of hearing me talk about Leading Man Fiber Arts yarn, but I do absolutely love it. And what I brought to share was that with them is this scarf. This is one of the first things that I made with their yarn. This colorway was called Masquerade. And this is a feather and fan stitch that's on a bias. So it looks a little crooked, but you can see, I'm trying to hold it up so that you can see that the edges do this biased. The edges have this bias. So this was made, again, a long time ago. I don't know if I even have it noted what this pattern is, where I found it. If I do, I'll link it below, but I apologize if I don't. So, ooh, there, you can see it really, really good there. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so that was Leading Man Fiber Art number 1. Number 2, I guess I'll show you this one. This one was called Achieve Grapeness. And again, I have to dig into my book to see if I've got, I'm sure that it's all written down. I'm sure that these were all made after I started keeping track. So I will include the links that I can of these makes. But this one was another one that's just another, you know, nice smaller, nice smaller front shawlette, whatever. I really like this one. Just some mesh and then some double crochets. Okay, so then the next one that I made, I'm gonna bump my table. This one is really nice, and I think that this one is a sport weight. It's a little bit heavier, and if you know me, I buy the yarn and then I put it to a pattern later. So I always look at this one and go, dragonflies in this rust color, I don't know, but it sure is pretty and it sure is soft, and I so love this yarn. And they were quite excited to see what I had made. and then a little scalloped edge along the bottom. I think this one was called Red Clay. There were two very similar ones that I had to each other, and now I can't remember which colorway was which. And then my piece de resistance, you guys have seen recently because it hangs here quite often, and that is the gradient greens called All the Way to the Bank. And this pattern is from Sarin Crochet, and it's just called the Simply Elegant Triangle Crochet Shawl, or something to that effect. Her video is done in a red gradient that goes from the white to the red like this. So and then I also made this pattern in a solid red, but that was a different yarn. So when I was showing the guys from Leading Men Fiber Arts, Steve and Andy, they were very excited to see the work that I had done with their yarn. So then I decided I didn't want to carry this around at the event as my holder of purchased yarns, because number one, it was big and bulky and kind of in the way and heavy, but secondly, it was far too big. I could have bought a whole lot more yarn than I did if I was using this as my gauge. So I went out to the car, emptied this out in the car, and came back in with just my KK bag. So again, only 4 skeins should have fit here. So I'm already at 2 from Honey Girl Farms, and they have out in front of the building, they have yarn trucks. If anybody, you know, has ever experienced those, they're so fun. It's like a food truck size, but the inside is completely a yarn store. So they travel from place to place and you know, do little pop-ups or whatever. So one of the vans had been there before. I've seen them and their yarns before, and part of me wants to buy from a yarn maker, not just a yarn seller. So this one van has got, or truck or whatever, has bunches and bunches and bunches of different types of yarn from different makers and notions, all kinds of stitch markers and little gauge things, and lots of state related things, because you know, when they travel around, it's fun to pick up different states and stuff. So I didn't get anything from them, but I did buy from the other 2 that were out front there. One of them I don't have here because I had to order it. I liked a certain colorway that she didn't have in the base that I wanted. She only had it in worsted, I think, and I wanted it in a fingering weight. So I purchased it by order, and it'll be coming to me in the mail. So that'll still come, you know, on the next video or whatnot. Her bases were different birds, so there was cardinal and finch and sparrow, like that. And so my base is called Finch, and the colorway is called Moonbeam. So I think there was some purple in it, some gray. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I wish I took a picture, but I didn't. So that'll be fun to show you later when I do get that in the mail here shortly. I'm gonna let the dogs in, hold on. All right, so besides the first van or truck that I did not purchase anything from, so then I go to the next van, and this woman was listening to some funky music, and I was loving it. And she has yarn that is made from Angora bunnies. And I've never bought any bunny yarn before. So I can't believe that it was as inexpensive as it was. Now this is merino, soft, superwash merino and nylon, 437 yards, 85-15 blend. It was only $15, and I thought that was super pretty. It's not part of the Angora stuff, but for 15 bucks for a skein of fingering weight yarn, yeah, I'll take that. So I thought that was really, really pretty. But then the yarn that I bought that's bunny blend, merino and Angora, an 80% merino and 20% Angora, 2-ply, 219 yards. So I think together this is a fingering weight full skein, and these are only $15 each, so $30 for the 2 together. I thought was really nice. A little bit Halloween-y with the purples and the blacks and the grays and stuff, but the browns kind of bring it to a different, kind of take it out of that for me. I'm not a super big Halloween color fan, so I wasn't looking at it like that, but I think that the browns, like right there, oh, I love that look. I love that. Whatever I want to make, I want it to look just like that. That is gorgeous. So again, it'll be a smaller item because there was just, you know, 438 yards, I guess. So gorgeous, gorgeous Angora blend. Yay. Super happy about that. So there was four rows. So there's the row along the wall that you're shopping on them, and then this row. But the back side of them had things to shop. But then the center area is where tables are. You can sit down and chit chat with friends, eat something. They had some concessions. They didn't have food. There was a hot dog truck out front, but I decided that was not how I was feeling that day. So, so then the table's in the center. So you've got this row of shopping, and then the final row, you've got shopping on both sides. They're up against the wall, if that made any sense. So, so I could kind of easily stand up at the top of the rows and see where I wanted to make a double back. You know, when I was walking through the first time just to share the shawls with the vendors, that was kind of like I had one focus, and now that I was actually doing some shopping, I knew which areas I really wasn't interested in. They've got a lot of crafting at this type of place. There was a lot of weaving and a lot of people that had raw fibers or that were spinning. What am I calling it? Spinning. Or when you're putting all the fibers together and making the spinning yarn out of it, whatever that's all called. So they had a lot of that. So I just focused on yarn purchasing stations, if you will. And so some of these are like an 8x8 or maybe a 10x10. And if two people are in there, man, it's chummy. So one of the next purchases, I don't know what order, I'm going all out of order on this, but this was one that I looked at multiple times, picked up, put down, and it came home with me. So this one is from Created for You by Laura. And as you can see here, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a fingering weight, 100% superwash merino, and it's 438 yards. Now, if you can see how much blue there is in this versus how much of the variegated color, when I first picked one up, it was in, again, I think I was picking up a worsted weight, and I asked her if she had it in a fingering because she had different bases. So she had, how they were all laid out was a little bit different. So I couldn't find this in fingering, and she showed me where it was. Now, the worsted weight that I picked up, the skein was much more of the variegated and just a little tiny bit of the blue. So I was really happy when we found the base that I wanted, that it had so much more blue in it. It is a pretty mix of colors. Now, I wouldn't have thought to put that with blue because there's not really, I mean, there's this kind of grayish blue, maybe you can call that, but otherwise I thought it was just really very different, you know. So that was very pretty. I like that very much. And did I say already? Yes. It's called Denim Speckles with rust, pewter, and bronze in it. She had one that was very similar. The blue was navy and a little bit different here. So it was fun to shop in her yarns. I couldn't decide very easily which one I wanted to buy. So then the next one that I got, and again, how many are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I overfilled my bag way too much. This one is absolutely gorgeous. And when I first picked it up, it had a sticker that said one of a kind. So I was really, really into that. And then she goes, oh, wait a minute, that's not one of a kind. Someone was helping me put labels on. So she had to go through and pick all the ones off of here because they were not one of a kind. But this is from Hinkston Handmade. And it's a 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 446 yards. It's called Love Letter. And you can see here, it's kind of like some grays up in here. And then like the pinks here. It's kind of a pinky, purpley grouping. Very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. I like it a lot. Okay, so before I get into the next yarn that I purchased, this is the point in the day where I ran into, or they ran into me, the Magic Circle Crochet Group. Susan, Kim, Kathy, and Jane, you guys absolutely made my day, made my month, made my year. Like, this is something that I didn't expect to happen when I made my channel. And the fact that I run into viewers blows my mind. It still is surreal to me. I still get all choked up. I still get all verklempt. It meant so much to me to see Susan's smiling face and see how excited she was to see me, just me, little me. So I'm just walking along, and I can't remember exactly how it went. I told myself that I was not going to record this video as soon as I got home because I was going to be all blah, 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 so excited about it, but I still am. I'm still having to calm my words down and talk through it. So I don't remember exactly every little detail about our encounter, but I'm walking along buying yarn or whatever, and I don't know if she said my name or asked me if I had a YouTube channel, got my attention first and then asked me, but we acknowledged that I'm who she thought I was. And she just had a smile from ear to ear. Susan, you're so fantastic. And so Susan has shared me with her friends. She's the one who found me first and then shared me with her friends. And Kim, I think you were the one who's new to crocheting and you're doing so well. Kathy and Jane, you guys both had, you know, crocheting stories to share either by visual or by the yarn that you bought. So it was such a great time to meet up with you guys and talk about, you know, what you were working on and what we might be buying and things like that. And again, just I could never have guessed that I would meet people who watch my videos in the public like that. It's just fantastic. So my heart just overflows in thinking that I made somebody else happy for the day. So that was fantastic. That was great. So rewind just a little bit. When I went earlier in the day, when I first got there and I was sharing my finished projects with Leading Men Fiber Art, I tell them that I fangirl a little bit on them. And I think that if you fangirl, you should not be saying that you fangirl. I think it's kind of obvious, but I felt my face when I was talking to them. I could feel myself red just burning down my face. It was kind of funny, and in retrospect, it was kind of funny. But so because I have such a reaction when I see them, after Susan and her group ran into me and told me, you know, how they feel about me and stuff, I went back to Leading Men and I said, you guys, this just happened to me. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. You know, my 3 years on YouTube is here, my anniversary, and here people are recognizing me, and it's just amazing. So remember this moment. In my next video, I'm going to talk about something that I don't want to talk about right now because I don't want to give it away. But so continuing on and leaving that part out, I bought yarn. There were two that I picked up that I could not decide between. And, you know, if you know me and my love for my greens and my blues, it showed here again. So this is sport weight as opposed to the fingering weight that I do generally buy. I don't have a lot of sport weight, but I do like my sport weight. So that's why I wanted to pick this up. Each of these is 328 yards and it's all superwash merino. But these are the two colorways that I picked up. Now this one's called Poseidon and it's got some little tiny specks of blue. Can you see that? It's a greenish color, and then I hate that my color pops out when I do that. It's a greenish color and then it's got these little tiny specks of blue in there. So, so pretty. And then this one is just much more of a solid green. Now their colors don't always 100% saturate, which is what I love about them. Gosh. So you can see like a little bit of a greener tint here and then a little bit of a darker green. I really like that about their yarns at Leading Men Fiber Art. So that was why I picked this one up. This one's called Blue Steel, even though it's like mostly green. So those were the yarns that I picked up from Leading Men Fiber Arts. And it's just always so fun to talk to them. And I tell myself, they're just normal people. Stop fangirling so much, but I can't help it. I really like them. And then the very last yarn that I purchased, this is another one where I couldn't make up my mind between a couple of the different colorways. I knew I was going to buy some blue yarn because blue is my blue. Blue is my thing. And I did pick up some blue, but this was one that I had looked at, and there was like so many people in the booth at the time. It was a bigger booth and still just packed to the gills. So I waited a little bit and then went back when there were less people in there so I could really take a look at it more. This one is called, the hand dyer is called Behind the Pines. There's her little label there. And she got a little sticker on here. It says, "Thank you for supporting my small business," which I appreciate. And this is a sock. It says it's a sock kit because I got a free pattern with it. But it is 240 yards each. It's two contrasting colors, so It's, you know, 480 total of 90% superwash merino and 10% nylon. So, you know, she considers it kind of two groups with the, well, let's open her up and take a look. So the reason that I landed on this one is because it's called Winter's Coming. And if you are familiar with the HBO series that they constantly said, winter is coming, I just finished watching that. And so I thought that it was kind of time-wise apropos for me to make this purchase. So you can see that they are two skeins. It's not one long skein. They are two different skeins. And that's why she's got it labeled the way she does. So it's each of the colors is 240 yards. So I thought those were very pretty yarns. Again, with a speckle. I didn't intend to be a speckly day, but I did purchase a couple speckles, and then the solid blue that went with it. She also had a purplish color in this mixture and the greenish, I think, but the names didn't necessarily speak to me. And if I'm trying to decide on you know, a yarn, which yarn should I be buying, and I can't make up my mind based on the colors, then I might pick something like the name, the colorway name, and use that to be the reason for my purchase. So I like that, you know, a lot of times you see a full skein with a mini skein that goes with it, like a, you know, a set to be the colors together. But in this grouping for the socks, so I'll show you the picture. I'm trying not to show you the pattern at all. Here is the pattern that I was given to knit socks with this yarn. I don't knit, you guys know I don't knit. So I don't know, slip 1 would be K10, SSK, K1, turn. P2 together. I don't know like any of this means. So that was such a great day. I think I was there for 3.5 hours. Just walking around and looking at stuff over and over and over again. I can't get enough. So needless to say, I completely overdid it on my purchasing. I knew I was going to make some yarn purchases at this event, but didn't know that I was going to go to the extreme that I did. I kind of broke a whole lot of my own rules, so that is my big old yarn haul excitement packed video that I have to share with you today. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you'll come back and see me again. Have a wonderfully blessed day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.